So this is called Like Gandhi, Like Martin. There's something called the Gaza Freedom March. It'll be happening on January 1st. I think the Middle East Crisis Committee will be doing something next month to raise money for that. And a lot of idiots in the United States are like, you should be more like Gandhi. And like, where's your Gandhi? Where's the Palestinian Gandhi? And I was like, I don't want to headbutt them because then that would reinforce the negative stereotypes. But I get really upset by the question because there's been 6 decades of nonviolent activity in Palestine, and there have been amazing groups, amazing nonviolent protests, and a lot of other activity within Palestine that the U.S. and Israel helps us sell by pretending it doesn't exist. So this last poem is called Like Gandhi, Like Martin. It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know if Palestine just hurts more than it used to. Maybe it was the opening up of other people's coffins, but I hardly think of the kids in Daesh anymore. Great memories tucked under pillowcases, more nightmares brought by morning. Blink images of live-fired unarmed protesters. Cameras spill out footage of screaming mothers. Born bred dead in the West Bank. Fought like Gandhi, like Martin, but no history book will remember their plight. No one ever told me it would be this hard. Impossible to look away after first glance. I cringe every time someone sends me more photos. Dead babies missing foreheads and frontal lobes. Police lay still lined up like dominoes. Punctured chests where organs once functioned. Half a face missing in this one. An arm missing in that one. It looks like the bomb beat his little body into the ground. Read reviews of our art, movies, and music. We're so angry, one-sided, never fair and balanced. What about Schindler's List? The Pianist, Life is Beautiful, and every other Oscar-worthy and winning movie. I never looked at Jewish pain as something to conquer, never forgetting that sometimes monsters lived under the skin of German men. We should be more like Gandhi, like Martin, like someone else. Pretentious armchair activists who obsess over Monica Lewinsky and Barack Obama's dog choice. If we all just rose up at once, like First Intifada's people in the West forget about. Want to be feminists, peace activists, and pluralists. Swallow tongues and gouge out eyes. Wouldn't live this life for 5 minutes, but are too quick to criticize the way we live it. While a million Iraqi throats are slit, reporters sit in air-conditioned newsrooms praising General Petraeus. Don't dare ask Iraqi clouds what they've witnessed. It's quite a view from the ground outside the green zone. The fallacy put forth is that if we were only better, we would be free today. We should be better than the people that happen to be Israeli, happen to be Jewish, because better is not racial, ethnic, or religious, but situational. So for that, yes, we are better than you. We should be more like Gandhi, like Martin, and you should be more like F.W. de Klerk, like Afrikaners admitting colonialism and white supremacy in South Africa. Funny that we always blame the victims and never ask the needed question. When is the day going to come when Israelis and other colonizers of the world better themselves? I was a dark kid trying to be a white kid, acting like a black kid in my middle class economy. But my mom didn't speak this language perfectly, and I was reminded with certainty. My name wasn't Ali or Punjabi MC, not Khalid Rashid or anyone from Aladdin's family. I was just me. But who was me, I asked the question quietly. As my relatives suffered unjustly, fighting oppression in Mideast countries, what is Palestinian identity? What was preventing me from seeing what others pointed out so easily? It's scary not having autonomy. The only one with a permanent tan on the baseball team, but it's funny being seen. I know, I look like that terrorist in that movie. Yeah, the biggest nose in 3 counties, but I think I figured it out eventually. I'm a Palestinian American, standing proudly with one foot on democracy and the other seeking autonomy, while the media tries to rewrite my people's history. I'll always be me, with my roots planted firmly, American with Palestinian ancestry, planting seeds for hybrid ideology and lands of productivity. You see, these schemes aren't just a dream. It's what I say, know, and mean. And one day the truth will be seen, with transparency. So I step forward, a part of the team, the true essence of what I believe to be American Palestinian identity. So I deal with a lot of Palestine issues, but as I was saying before, to me it's not about Palestine. Like, I'm not an ethnocentrist, I'm not a nationalist. It's about human rights, it's about justice, it's about equality being afforded to all peoples. You know what I mean? And like, I was doing a lot of shows during the week of Fort Hood, and you know, I told the people, it's like, I moved to New York City 4 months before 9/11, and when those 2 towers came down, I didn't scream, wow, that's political. I just said, oh my God, 3,000 people just died. I could have known some. I got to talk to my friends. I got to talk to their parents. I don't know what happened. You know, and the same day that Fort Hood happened, 4 civilians were killed by an unmanned drone in Pakistan, and 9 civilians were killed in another NATO attack. And at some point, we need to get beyond the idea of American life and start valuing human life. And it's one of the reasons why I became a poet. It's one of the reasons why I picked up a pen, because an op-ed can reach so many people. You know what I mean? Doing advocacy work can only reach so many people. But especially a lot of the kids, the youth, the MSAs, living in a post-9/11 world, living in America, trying to find their voice. You know, I always tell kids, like, for that right-wing stupid kid waving the Confederate flag down in Kentucky, you're just as American as he is. And if you let somebody strip away your voice, they relegate you to third-class status, whether you know it or not. So, as a Palestinian American, as somebody growing up in goofy Western Massachusetts, that's why I picked up a pen. So the next poem I'm going to do is called A Poem for Gaza. I wrote it during the last 22-day attack on Gaza, which killed 1,400 people. I never knew death until I saw the bombing of a refugee camp. Craters filled with disfigured elbows and splattered torsos, but no sign of a face, the only impression a fading scream. I never understood pain until a 7-year-old girl clutched my hand, stared up at me with soft brown eyes waiting for answers, and I didn't have any. I had dried pens in my back pocket that couldn't fill pages of understanding or resolution, and her other hand she held the key to her grandmother's house, but I couldn't unlock the cell that caged her older brothers. They said we slingshot dreams, so the other side will feel our father's presence. A craftsman built homes in areas where no one was building, and when he fell, he was silent. A .50 caliber bullet tore through his neck, shredding his vocal cords, too close to the wall. His hammer must have been a weapon. He must have been a weapon. And coaching on settlement hills and demographics. So his daughter studies mathematics. 7 explosions times 8 bodies equals 4 congressional resolutions. 7 Apache helicopters times 8 Palestinian villages equals silence in a second Nakba. Our birth rate minus third birth rate equals 1 sea and 400 villages re-erected. 1 state plus 2 peoples, and she can't stop crying. Never knew revolution or the proper equation. Tears at the pages with her fingertips, searching for answers but only finds teachers. Looks to the sky and sees stars of David, demolishing squalor with hellfire missiles. She thinks back words and memories of his last hug before he turned and fell. Now she pumps dirty water from wells while settlements divide and conquer. And her father's killer sits beachfront with European vernacular. She thinks backwards while they think backwards of obscene notions and indigenous confusion. This is our land, she said. She's 7 years old, this is our land, she said. And she doesn't need history books or a schoolroom teacher. She has these walls, this sky, her refugee camp. She doesn't know the proper equation, but she sees my dry pens, no longer waiting for my answers, just holding her grandmother's key, searching for ink.